Hi, my name's Julie Coakley and I'm a totally blind and profoundly deaf glass artist. This is my collection of river dishes which I have made in bullseye glass, and I'm going to show you in a minute how I make these dishes, which is quite challenging, as you can imagine, as a blind artist. The inspiration for these came from travelling in Indonesia when I encountered some river tables, which is where they have a big crack in the wood and you can feel the grain of the wood. They then fill them with resin, so it's like a river. And I've translated that inspiration into glass. So I hope you enjoy looking at my work and enjoy watching the making process.
Go.
Hi. Well, I'm about to cut some glass to make the top layer for one of my river dish designs. And as you can see here, because you're all very lucky and can see, there is a very nice label, probably with the product code or commercially done, but I can't see that. So I have to produce these little labels on laminated cards. And when I buy my glass, it's very laborious, but I have to voice label everything. So when I'm trying to find my glass, I get my trusty pen friend and I check my labels. Glacier, blue, opal. So this is an opal glass, glacier blue. So I've already cut my base plate of clear glass and I now need to cut my top piece of the glacier blue. Now, although I do have a tape measure,
0.0 centimetres,
which is very clever,
23.5 centimetres, 0.0
I find that a bit of a nuisance and not very accurate for setting my actual cutting machine. So what I have found easier to do is to put the slumping mould, which will be the final shape of the river dish, to put that upside down on my mat, push it against the gauge, and then set the cutting, this is a cutting arm, set the cutter, lining it up with the edge of the mould. Now if I do that for each dish that I'm making relevant to each mould, then I get a consistent size cut.
Yeah.
So I have my glacier blue glass and I'm just trying to work out what is the best side to make my score mark on. So I feel it with my fingers because one side is slightly textured and I don't want to make my score mark on that. I want to make my score mark on the smooth side. So although my nails are appalling, this side is a better side to cut on. So I put it against my guide and get my cutter ready and score my glass. Now once my glass is scored and I can feel the score line with my fingers there, I get my cut running pliers. It always helps to make sure they're the right way up. And there's a little mark which is the middle and the bump which shows me the top. So I line that up and very gently, I do line it up honestly, press, and I have a piece of nice cut glass. I'm about to cut my wave curve using a manual cutter. This is not the thing I'm very good at doing, but I want to make a wave so I can put my river of strings representing the water through the middle. So I hold my cutter And I'm just doing a gentle wave through and then down to the end. So I now have a wavy score mark, which I can just feel. You can hear it with my nail. So I now need to break the glass along that wavy score. So this is the plan. I will have a clear base plate and I will have a colour of wavy glass either side, and then I pre-bend lots and lots of different colours glass string in the middle, and I fuse them on a full fuse, 804 degrees, till I make like a big tile, and then this will then get sat onto a porcelain mould and slumped, and this shape is actually a giant sushi dish, a giant sushi river dish. So I'm just passing my 1mm glass stringer over a tea light candle and gently using the heat to bend some waves into my glass string. And when I have a whole selection of waves all bent, such as ones that I have done earlier, I will put all of these bent strings together onto the glass to make my wave effect in my river dishes.